What's up, guys? Welcome back. Another day in paradise. So today another quick session. We're going to do a bit of technique and schooling. I hope you enjoyed the plyometrics last week and got something out of it. So just quickly, we're going to get straight into it here. We're just going to go over the slip and then
and here's Adam's dog.
Hey buddy, how you doing?
Hey Remy.
Just give me 2 seconds.
We're just removing the dog from the training area and Adam will be back now shortly. And here he is.
We're going to go through the slip. Slip and then a counter. So we're just going to go through that. That's it. We're going to break it down. I'll talk to you a little bit about what I think is important, things that I felt benefited me when I was using it and when I was training, and things that kind of took a while to sink in. So just to recap very quickly over last week. So last week we went over the double jab, or jab to the body, jab to the head, moving in and out. So we're not going to spend too much time on that, but we may introduce that into the end of the session depending on how much time we have. So just to recap on it, we're hopping forward and back, the jab to the body, jab to the head, jab to the body, a little bit of power on the top on the first punch, and then winding back, and then full power on the second punch. So jab to the body, jab to the head, okay? We're not gonna go over it again, but we may use it at the end of the session. So for the slip is really important, and we practice it over and over and over and over and over again, but there's a lot of things that you see where people are wasting energy, wasting movement, wasting time, and they're not using it most effectively. So just to go through quickly the slip. So in your boxing stance, with your feet right in their normal position, guard nice and tight, checking where everything is, up nice and tight on your toes, okay? The slip is basically ducking a punch, moving a punch, it's slipping it, okay? So from here, boop, okay, that's it, boop. All I'm doing is moving my head out of the way of somebody's fist. It's really not much more complicated than that. In terms of the body movement, it's the same kind of theory as the punch, okay? Remember we talked about turning the hips, going from the back, from the feet first, turning the hips, turning the body to punch. It's a very similar action, but we're turning the shoulders, we're not punching, we're just moving our head about that much out of the way, enough for a fist to get past. So if your opponent's punching you straight on, all you need to do is, as if you're throwing a punch, but instead I'm just going to slip the punch, okay? So I'm still doing the same action with my feet, slip, slip, and my head is moving out the way, and I'm moving on the inside of my opponent, which is going to put me in a very good position to either counter strike or move out the way, whatever it is that's coming next. From the other side, I'm just going to, it's a very similar thing, it's slightly different. We're going to turn the hips the other way, okay? So you might want to take a little step, shift your weight, okay? And it's exactly the same thing. If you're slipping and you're not moving, you can slip backwards, or if you're slipping forward, you need to take a step, okay? Slip, and then swivel, whatever it is that you're doing. Or on the spot from here, all you're doing is slip, okay? Slip. I'm not moving my head much. From here, I'm turning my hips first, with my feet. That's turning my body, and my head is moving out the way. Slip, okay? Slip, slip. Now on this one, I'm slipping outside my opponent, and I'm kind of going diagonally back, okay? Because that's the way my body naturally moves. There's no point in slipping forward if you're not naturally going there anyway. If I'm going to go forward so that I'm on the inside of my opponent, so I'm moving closer to my opponent, sorry, I need to take a step when I do the slip. Okay, so the difference between those two is slip, okay, or slip. Okay, so on that note, footwork and balance on this. I'm going to get Ciara to do some demos in a minute, but I just want to run through everything first so that we're all on the same page. So, in terms of your weight, it's very easy to do a slip like that and stay perfectly still. When we're in the club or when we're doing exercises, you're repeating them, okay? We sometimes get told to stand straight on like this to get a good idea of the type of movement or the type of angle, and then you put both your feet on your knees. Okay, that's another good exercise to kind of get the idea as to the kind of movement that you want to do. It's very easy to get the basics down if you're having trouble with how to move, because I see a lot of people, when you say slip a punch, and they do this and they duck all the way down, or they swing their body out, or they lean forward, or they lean back like this. Okay, there's way too much energy being wasted there. In reality, that's going to be no good to you. It's a very small movement, so to get the right angle, this is a good one. Hand on the knee, okay? Hand on the knee. That's all it is. My head is just moving slightly out the way, okay? So, in reality, in practice, you're not going to be standing straight on, so you have to get used to that turning of the hips, moving your head out the way, okay? When you do a nice small slip, your guard and everything should be protecting you. Nothing else is changing from here, other than my body is moving. Slip, okay? Footwork and weight. In reality, your opponent is going to be throwing a punch at you, okay? So if you slip and stay exactly here, the next punch is already coming and you've been tagged, and that's no good to you. So you're always going to be on the move, either moving in, moving out, countering. So we're going to start with the slip today, and then we're going to add a punch. So on that note, with your feet and your weight, you have to make sure that your weight is even on your feet, so that when you're slipping, okay, you're actually winding up like a spring, and you're ready to unleash that energy in the form of a punch or in the form of moving out the way, okay? So from here, slip, okay, and then straight away into a punch. So slip, punch, okay? Slip, punch, or slip, punch. It's always going to be almost one movement. So from here, slipping down, this is already the beginning of my punch, and I'm coming out of my slip, and I'm punching to finish it off, okay? Remember when you're doing your punches, looking straight down the arm, nice and tight, slip, punch, okay? It's one very fast, very quick movement, because, like I said, if you're punching someone, if they take any time at all to do their move, your opponent's going to notice what's happening. So you imagine how fast a punch is coming at you. You have to be fast enough so that you can slip that punch and counter it. There's no good standing there and going like this, ducking out the way. It's too slow. It's too much movement. It's such an instant thing. It has to be so fast. You have to be light on your feet. You have to have that energy ready to go, so that when you're in your fight, your punch comes at you, slip, punch, you're slipping and punching instantly, okay? So that's what we're going to work on. We're going to get Ciara out here. She's going to practice it. Going to give her a few tips, see if we can
everybody.
Get her good at it. Just one thing quickly, this is a good exercise as well, I forgot about that. So we're going to practice this. So Ciara's going to stand against the wall. I'm going to throw this at her head, and she's going to slip the ball, okay?
We got it now?
Yep, okay, so in your stance. Okay, nice and slow. So just do a slip first for us. Okay, good. So just going to throw this right at your head, so you're going to need to move out the way. Ready? Good. Okay, again. Good. Again. Good. Again. Good. Good. And the other way. Good. Okay, a very good one to play at home if you have another person to play with or train with, and who you haven't recently angered, and you can keep your distance from them. It's a good one to do. Okay, so let's just get into your stance. Guard up, nice and tight. We're just going to check that we're on the right thing. Okay, hopping forward and back on your toes. Good. Keep your guard nice and tight, fists closed. Okay, very good. So that's a good way. Okay, so now from here, just standing still, go into your slip. Okay, and up. Okay, that's even probably too much. So first, before you do your slip, all I want you to do is just move your hips a little bit. Even, yep, that's it. Perfect. Do it again. Stop. Yep, perfect. Again. Good. That's it. Good. Again. Again. Good. So you can see Ciara's not moving at all. Do you want to just come face the camera as well, so you can see from this angle? Do it again. Hips. Very good. So see, you're not even thinking about your head. All you're thinking about is the bottom half of your body. And naturally, as a result of that, the rest of her body is just following what her legs and her hips are doing. One time. Good. Again. Okay, so now start thinking about the top as well. Now you're not moving all the way out the way. You're just moving. You're just taking note of where your position is. So you slip the punch. Take note, because you still need to And when you just get down into your slip, just stop there. Okay, so from here, I can see that already your weight is too far over, slightly. I'm sure you can stand there, but in terms of getting back for a punch, you're going to have to work twice as hard to come back. Okay, so from here, I would say if you turn your front of your body without turning your bottom of your hips up a little bit, towards me a bit, the top half.
Alright,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, keep your guard up nice and tight, and look straight up at me. Keep your head up, but your chin down, your eyes up, but your chin down. There we go. Okay, and back again. Back again. Okay, same thing again. Good. Very good. Back again. Again. Good. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that's good. Now this time, from your slip, all of that involved, we want to focus on the weight distribution on the feet. So from this one, you're going to have your weight evenly between your 2 feet, okay? So you should be able to lift one foot up and the other foot up as well. So lift, just balance on one foot. Okay, so all your weight's on your front. So from here, you shouldn't be able to stand on one foot from where you're standing, because your weight should be perfectly in the middle.
Okay.
Okay, so just in your stance, bend your legs. Okay, good. So you shouldn't be able to lift you shouldn't be able to lift any of your feet because your weight's nice and centered.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
Yeah, okay. So from here you're just popping down and popping up. Pop up. Pop up. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so just without the slip, all I want you to do is just go on the spot. Good. Again. Good. Keep doing that. 2, just one jump and then stop.
Sorry.
Okay. No, sorry. Like you were. 2 jumps. Yep. Good. 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 Okay. Feel that rhythm. So now just get more into your stance when you do it. Good. Good. Nice and loose on your thing. Okay. So now when you're doing that and thinking about it, add one little hop and one little slip. But slip is the first hop, so we may be doing an extra hop. Okay.
Okay.
So try one hop into it. Yep, there we go. Try again. Good again. Good again. Good again. So, yeah, again. So we're actually over-exaggerating this hop. The reason I'm getting Ciara to do this hopping thing, because we don't want to be hopping in and hopping out all over the place when we're doing it. The reason I'm getting Ciara to do this is to just get the feeling of having your weight popping from where you're standing to where the next part is, okay? Because when you're boxing, you never want to be standing still. You never want to just be standing like this. So you're always moving somehow. And for the slip or pop, okay, it should happen instantly. Okay, so just thinking about all of that. Don't focus too much on the hop for now, but just using that kind of momentum and stuff. Get your footwork right. Get your guard right. When you're ready, just do a nice little slip. Good again. Good again. Even less of the hop, but just with this. Yep, very good. Good. So the reason we do the hop is so that you can actually bounce back, because without it, you're just using the top half of your body, and the bottom half isn't doing anything. So with the hop, it's about using that to use your weight, hop forward and back. Okay. Again. Good. Even less with the shoulder at the top. Good. Okay, so just from here I'm just going to come forward at you like this, and when you're ready, just slip the punch, okay? Good. 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 Okay. Now, when I get to you, just stop on the slip. Okay, from here. Okay, so you can see from here. You can't actually see because you can be able to see it from the camera. There's actually still quite a lot of space between the punch and the head. So even though Ciara's not moved much at all, she's still moving too much than is necessary. Now I'm not saying that you shouldn't move out the way of a punch, because you'd want to get clear, and if you have a head guard on, you're going to need to move extra fast. I'm just trying to emphasize the point that when a lot of people are doing their slips, they're doing way too much work. And one thing I noticed that when you're in a fight, a combat situation, somebody's throwing punches at you, those few millimeters of time and energy really make all the difference. So if you can train yourself to just slip as close to the bone as possible, then you'll have much more of a chance of reacting. So one more time again. Good, very good, very good, very good, 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 okay. Very good. So that's only one side. So now we have to do the other, which is a little bit more awkward because you're moving back. So from your stance, so thinking about this, it's a little bit different because it's much easier to move your hips forward than it is to move your hips in the direction that they're already going. So you already have your hips kind of turned that way because of your stance. So in order to do this slip, you have to bend your leg a little bit, okay, and your weight is just going to momentarily go from the front to the back and pop up again. So just concentrate on the feet for now, get the feeling right, turning your hip. Remember the kind of pop feeling, yep, good, okay, yeah. Okay, good, okay. So when you're thinking about practicing this, if you're having trouble with it, what you want to do is start with the feet and work your way up. So start with your feet, get the feeling of having your feet right. Is my balance throwing off? Am I falling too far back? Am I falling too far forward? Is my weight nice? And if I'm halfway in my slip, am I in a position to either throw a punch or make a punch miss? So that's another good one. Freddie Roach, I'm sure you all know him. That was one of his philosophies. You should always be in a position to either throw a punch or make a punch miss. So if we stop here on the back of your slip, okay, so are you in a position to make another punch miss or throw a punch? That's good.
I am to throw, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So now we're going to go up to the shoulders, just make sure the shoulders are all good. So again in your stance, okay, and slip again down, very good, up. Okay, just that again, stop. Okay, very good. Up again. Slip, up, slip, up, slip, and the other way. Okay, so now we're going to do slip, slip. So that's slip, slip. Now it's very hard to do a slip, slip and not change your foot. If you try and stand, unless you're standing straight on, which is very easy to see, slip, slip, because I'm not doing anything with my feet and I'm facing straight on. Right, slip, slip. It's very easy. Hands on the knees, get the right angles, okay? But in your stance, when you're doing this, it's very hard to slip and then slip without moving, especially if you're under pressure, okay? Now it is possible, obviously we can slip as many times as you want, but slip, slip, okay? Slip, 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 slip. Little tiny movements with the feet so that I can pop up. Slip, slip, slip. Each time I do a slip, I'm resetting my weight and my feet and my footwork, okay? So slip and ready to go again. Slip and I'm ready to go again. Slip, ready to go again. Slip, ready to go again. Slip, ready to go again. Each one is so important. You need to think about what your feet are doing and they're ready to go again. So on that note, Ciara, we're just going to do very slowly one slip and then stop and wait and then do another slip on the other side, okay? So we're going to start by slipping to your left. Slip, okay, slip, okay, again, slip, slip, okay, slip. So I think you're actually still just in line, so you're going to need to...
I had come back up.
Yeah, okay, ready, slip, slip, good, slip, slip, good, slip, slip, good, slip, 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 okay? Very good. So far for the slip, obviously when you practice this, you're going to get good. Everyone has their own style, everyone has their own ways. What I say isn't law. You know, I'm just talking about what I thought from my experience, what was important, okay? And what's important in the ring is very different from when you're standing around by yourself, because nobody's trying to get you and you have a lot of time to think about what you're doing. So obviously you need to practice. Start with the basics. If you don't know anything about slips, start with the basics. Facing forwards, get your technique, get your angles right, and just hands together like this and on the knee. That is the angle of the slip that you want to do. Okay? up, down, up, down. That is it, basic. If you already know what you're doing, or once you have that down, then go into your stance. You're turning the hips, turning your hips, turning your hips. And the weight on the feet is getting ready, reset, okay? Slip, slip, pop, pop. Not moving your head too much so that you can react instantly to what's happening, okay? So from there, how are we doing? 20 minutes. We've got a few minutes. We're just going to add a quick punch so that if you're practicing this at home, in case you don't already know how it would go. So more or less, after you've done the slip, you're going to be countering from the hand, so if I'm slipping to the left, I'm going to be punching with the left. If I'm slipping to the right, I'm going to be punching to the right, okay? So from the front, if I slip to the right, more than likely, I'm going to be countering with a backhand, okay? If I slip to the left, most likely, I'm going to be countering with a leading hand jab. Slip, boom. Okay, so this needs to be one movement. Slip, and then boom, straight out into the jab. So from here, we're just going to go slip and stop at the base of the slip. Slip. So from here, this is already Ciara is ready to throw her next punch, and then again, punch, boom. Okay, so even if her opponent was hopefully a little bit slower, he wasn't expecting it, hands still going to be there, my face is going to be about here, and Bob's your uncle, okay? And then again, back into your stance, okay? Again, slip punch, okay, again, good. Okay, just stop on the punch. Cool. Good, very good. Good up, nice. Back again. Okay.
Sorry.
Again. Boom. Okay. And just without the stick. Remember the pop, okay? So this is where the second pop comes in. Boom. Boom. And back again. Boom. Back to stance again. Much faster on the straight back into your stance again, ready to go. Back again. Okay, so just slip, punch, and back to your stance again. Stop. Okay, good. And ready to go. As you check your weight. Yeah. Make sure you're feeling good. Yeah. Okay, again. Good. Leave full extension on the arm as well. Boom. Okay. Boom. Because their hand is already in your zone. It's already at where your face is, so you're in striking distance at this point. So you're going to slap, punch, full extension, looking down the hand, guard up nice and tight, fully turned out, and then straight back to where you are, okay? Again. Good. Again. Fully extending, fully even more. Good, again. 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 Okay, so now you're kind of stepping too much into it, so boom, pop, pop, again. Good. Full extension. Boom. Good. Okay. And the other side. Start nice and slow. Get your slip down first if you have to. Good. Yeah. Okay. Speed it up. Good. 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 Okay. Very good. So I think you get the idea. Hope you learned something. I think we'll leave it from there because we're about 23 minutes. Just before you go, to recap, slip, important, instant reactions. Not wasting energy on moving too much out the way. Getting the angle right, getting your footwork right, popping on those feet, nice and light, and resetting and getting ready to go again. Instant movement, back to your position. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know if you have any more questions or if you have anything to add. We want to hear what you all think. And hi James as well, because I got told that you were watching these, so good to see you, buddy.